All right, ladies and gentlemen, our fourth match of this afternoon's session brings to the hockey players from Germany and the Netherlands. Please welcome first the man from Germany in his 9th European Tour event, but his first in Gibraltar. Please welcome the Wall, Martin Schindler. Martin's opponent comes from the Netherlands, twice a finalist on the Euro Tour in the past. In 2016 he picked up 3 Pro Tour wins. He is now ranked number 15 in the world, but seeded number 7 in the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. He is Big Ben Benito van der Pas.
Benito van der Pas, a man who has reached at least the quarter-finals in 5 of his last 8 European Tour events. Seeded 7 here, taking to the stage for his opening match of the weekend in Gibraltar, number 15 on the order of merit at this moment in time, up against a man who came through a fairly hard-fought encounter yesterday against Callan Ritzitz, the German qualifier Martin Schindler. Easy to make a case for Benito van der Pas, although I'm pretty sure, Chris Murphy, he won't have quite everything his own way here.
Certainly not. No, Martin Schindler came through Q School at the start of the year and has showed what he can do. I mean, coming through the European qualifier, a lot of these European Tour events are held in Germany, so he's able to play in the host nation qualifier. But coming through the European qualifier this time, the South and West U qualifier, is an achievement in itself. And then getting over that first hurdle, as you mentioned, Van der Pas has been knocked out once this year at this stage. That was by Roby John Rodriguez. So he knows what it's like to have a youngster even to him come up against him and knock him out, but he has been in good form, a couple of quarterfinals, and of course that final where he missed a match start to beat Peter Wright and win the title in Saarbrücken. That is now in the history books, and in front of him now is a prospect of facing Martin Schindler. Interestingly, coming through that South and West European qualifier, he was
first leg, Benito
the only German player to do so.
Game on.
4 Belgians and 3 Dutchmen. But today, there's only 1 player left from each of those nations.
Yeah, Van der Pas still only 24.
36.
I mean, of course, in terms of qualifiers, there are Belgian and Dutchman seeds in the tournament. Benito van der Pas being one of the Dutch players.
96.
Yeah, Belgium's Kim Huybrechts is here this weekend as well. Jelle Klaassen is on stage next, by the way, against Magnus Carris. In fact, the winner of this will face either Klaassen or Carris in round 3 tomorrow. So we could have
57.
2 Dutchmen squaring up in the 3rd round on Sunday.
Yeah, you mentioned Benito's age. You think that he's older than that, don't you? Because
been around for ages.
Yeah, and to have 3 PDC titles to his name by that age as well is fantastic.
Yeah, said he's reached at least the quarters in 5 of his last 8 European Tour events. He's also made 3 further quarter-final appearances on the Pro Tour this year as well.
44.
And he clearly has to be considered when it comes to assessing potential champions here this weekend.
So
one of those that certainly you could argue is overdue a win on the European Tour.
Yeah, certainly, and the man that he's due to meet, potentially, Jelle Klaassen as well.
Another, yeah.
But yeah, well, he's come closer than anyone to stopping the Wright Van Gerwen dynasty on the 2017 Euro Tour. And that was a killer blow for those that remember that.
93.
Benito van der Pas missed double 7 for a 1-2-2, I think it was, to win the match. Or was it in a 86? Anyway, it was double 7, and Peter Wright took out 121 on the bullseye in the deciding leg. Snakebite will be in action this evening against Christoph Ratajski. Snakebite, the number 1 seed. And the Pas seeded number 7, but he's under a bit of pressure in this opening leg.
Yes, he certainly is. And Schindler here looking at a very realistic opportunity to break the Van der Pas throw in the first leg of the match.
61.
Well, that'll leave tops. So Van der Pas with work to do here, and he'll be hoping that Schindler can fluff his lines when he steps back up, but well, so far Van der Pas is just not making any impression here either.
38.
And he's still not down to a finish anyway, so Schindler has all the time in the world with this one. Double 10. Well, that's just pitched awkwardly, so steps to the right.
30.
Comes inside. Just as well that he has that cushion.
Yeah, still a long way in front. Van der Pas will apply some kind of pressure now. He will be on a finish.
83, Martin, you require 10.
Well, it is a two-darter, but you won't see anyone go two darts for that finish.
Just has to watch his step here, Martin Schindler,
8.
because all of a
Benito, you
sudden Van der
require
Pas is
110.
in real contention of holding his throw after all.
Gurney took this out earlier on, amongst two other ton plus checkouts. Van der Pas will not get a dart at double, and Schindler now comes back. The
Martin,
double
you
one,
require 2.
being hit in many a pub around the world.
No
But it
score.
can't be hit on the Gibraltar Darts
Benito, you
Trophy
require
stage by Martin
24.
Schindler. To be fair, it's been missed in many a pub around the world as well. Plenty of time.
More times than it's been hit, I suspect. Anyway, Van der Pas, double 12 for a, well, potentially a 27 dart holder's throw here, but it's
Short of first
25.
leg, Benito Van der Pas,
And
signaling Martin to throw
Schindler really
first.
just has to put that one out of his mind. That was a really good opportunity that's passed him by.
Yeah, did all the hard work, but could not get over the
100.
line. 7 darts missed at double from Martin Schindler. Effectively more than that, because he missed with his first dart at the double one. Van der Pas, a bit of a steal of a holder's
100.
throw.
Klassen and Karras not on stage next, by the way. It's in the match after the next match, which is Stephen Bunting against Chris Quantock. So don't panic, if you're listening. You're not on stage next after all.
180.
Schindler again, doing the business in
100.
the early stages of the leg, but as we found out in the first leg, unable to do the business end of things.
Yeah, first max of the match.
57.
Chance for the German newcomer to level up. Although Van der Pas could be down to a checkout as well. Should be.
140.
It is, and it's one of a similar size.
Martin, you require 164. $64. Benito, you require 161. $65. Martin, you require 100.
Two darter this time, but now he needs the next two. And he's not going to get a shot here, Schindler. Van der Pas.
40. Benito, you
His
require
eyes will be bulging
96.
at the prospect of doubling his lead with a break of throw. 96 required.
In short in the second leg, Benito Van der Pas.
Well, he's 2-0 up, but he could be 2-0 down. And
Third leg, Benito to throw first.
it's little wonder
Game
Martin
on.
Schindler is just looking a bit full-on at the back of the stage here. Just trying to come to terms with what's just happened here, but needs to put all that behind him.
Yeah, well, he'll be thinking exactly what you said in reverse. I'm 2-0 down, but I should be
97.
2-0 up. Got himself in the position in each of the first two legs, but
91.
unable to finish off the job. We've seen some decent games today, the first two matches in particular. High quality, high drama. Daryl Gurney
59.
firing a 170 and 3 ton plus checkouts in a 6-3 win against Darren Webster. Cristo Reyes 7 180s in a thriller against James Richardson, in which he trailed
70.
by 4 legs. The standard perhaps wasn't as high when Alan Norris took on Matt Clark, but that also went all 11 legs. So no shortage of excitement so far on this Saturday afternoon session here in Gibraltar.
134.
Yeah, it's been good fare so far.
$60.
You mentioned that seeded players Bunting and Klassen coming up next. After that, it's Michael Smith against Christian Kiston.
95.
I think potentially the pick of the afternoon, Joe Cullen against Rob Cross.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Cross wasn't too convincing yesterday in his match against Mario Robert. Won 6-0, by the way.
Did you record
but
116?
just as a caveat, he really struggled on his doubles in the early stages of that one. Got going eventually, but you just felt there was more to come from Rob Cross, and maybe that will be evident today against Joe Cullen.
45.
But Rob Cross, a 2-time quarter-finalist on the European Tour this year, playing well domestically too, with a Players' Championship title under his belt as well.
90.
Just to underline that point, we'll talk more about Rob
22
Cross later, but
requires
2-time
71.
European Tour finalist from 2 events. Never played on the European Tour before.
Yeah, back-to-back third and fourth events of the year. Saarbrücken and Sindelfingen. Van der Pas then 71 away from a 3-0 lead. Topsy wants now then for a 3-0 scoreline.
In short, in the third leg, Benito Van der Pas will bring Martin to throw first.
We finished well the last couple of legs, 96 followed by 71.
57.
In fact, all those missed doubles in the first leg from Schindler then didn't give himself a shot in the second. Van der Pas hasn't missed one yet.
140.
Yeah, Van der Pas has had a 25 dart hold and an 18 dart hold.
134.
We saw that tournament where he reached the final though in Saarbrücken that he just tended to up his game as the tournament went on. Certainly smelt blood as soon as Michael van Gerwen was knocked out of the tournament.
140.
Seemed to just add 10 points onto his average just by, well, Michael's not here, I might go on and win this now. Well, he has beaten Michael van Gerwen before. In fact, he came very
59.
close to beating him here one year. Or was it here where he beat him?
Well, he beat Van Gerwen when he won his
93.
maiden senior PDC title. That was at the Players' Championship in April of last year. Beat Van Gerwen 6-5 in the final that day. Van der Pas ended the match with an average of 110. Van Gerwen averaged almost 112. A candidate for best Pro Tour final ever. That one between Van Gerwen and Van der Pas. 7 180s Van der Pas hit that day against Van Gerwen as well.
96.
I'm struggling to recall the Van der Pas Van Gerwen meeting here though in Gibraltar.
55.
I may be wrong.
I
have been wrong.
No, it was 2014 he did beat him, yeah, he beat Michael van Gerwen 6-5 in the 2014 staging of this event.
In short to the fourth leg, Benito Van der Pas.
Well, beating Van Gerwen in the past
Fifth
and
leg,
certainly
Benito
beating
to
Martin
throw
Schindler
first.
here now.
Game on.
2 holds, 2 breaks.
Yeah, well, a 6-5 win for Van der Pas then, and he lost out to James Wade in a last leg decider. Wade he went on to win the tournament. So Van der Pas has got designs on doing that himself this weekend, kicking off with a match.
95.
Of course, that previous leg saw him spoil his perfect record on doubles, but 80% is way, way, way out above the average that we've had so far this weekend.
100.
Seen a few players be a bit shaky on the outer ring.
Well, Schindler, I mean, 4-0 seems a bit harsh,
90.
but yeah, as you say, Van der Pas has just grown into this match. Had that nervy 25 darts opener, 14 dart break just then for a 4-0 lead. And ticking over very nicely in leg 5 as well. Schindler struggling for breath here.
Well, both players have been
96,
averaging
leading
around
above 41.
in the 70s for most of this match, but Van der Pas has just turned the screw. He's approaching 90 now in his average.
25.
A couple of missed starts, but they were affordable.
99. Benito, you require 16.
Looking very cool and composed here, Benito Van der Pas. Won't want to give Schindler too much encouragement here, though. 2 fairly good guides there, but no score for Van der Pas, so Schindler with an outside chance here of snatching his first leg. Treble 17 he needs, but he finds treble 3 instead.
83.
And that pretty much sums up his day so far.
Benito, you require
Well, you mentioned
16.
earlier that Rob Cross had a whitewash win yesterday. That was the only one of this tournament.
Sure to the fifth leg.
Benito Van der Pas is now one leg away from repeating that feat. Martin Schindler, who was the better player for the first
91.
couple of legs, we're hoping to avoid that embarrassment.
Yeah, it was a strange encounter against
58.
Callan Ridge yesterday. There were patches of that match where Schindler looked really in control against Callan Ridge. Ridge fought back well, 6-4 in the end. But this a very different proposition
60.
entirely. up against the number 7 seed and the player ranked number 15 in the world, and a player with an abundance of European Tour pedigree now.
44.
And a player who, on this evidence, could well go deep in this tournament.
Yeah, certainly no reason why not.
140.
Benito van der Pas. And we've been saying all year on the European Tour, perhaps the next natural phase in his progression as a professional darts player is to win one of these Euro Tour events.
43.
And he's in the opposite half of the draw to Peter Wright and James Wade and Dave Chisnall. I think the top half does look the stronger of the two halves of the draw.
140.
But as you say, Klaassen, Huybrechts, Whitlock, Sulovic all have claims as well in the bottom half. Darryl Gurney as well in the bottom half. He came through earlier today. Van der Pas coming through here with a 180.
Martin requires 70.
Surely this has to be Schindler's leg. Just inside the 20, so tops.
50.
Well, will return.
Yeah, that third 180 may prove to be in vain, but Martin Schindler has not hit a double yet in this match. 8 times he's tried, 8 times he's failed.
10.
He's going to get, well, he should get 3 more goes.
Martin,
If he
you
goes
require
inside
20.
the 10 first star, which he has, may only get 2. But only
Dave
needs
Shaw to the
2.
6th lane, Martin Schindler.
Yeah, Van der Pas was on
The
166
flag
anyway,
meter
so
to
he had even more
Rover.
breathing space.
Game
But
on.
Schindler does get a leg on the board, and I think he deserves that, in all honesty.
$60.
Looking at the last match of this evening session, Whitlock, who you mentioned as
77.
potential contender, Steve Beaton. Well, that was a semi-final here 3 years ago, and Steve Beaton came out on top.
Yep. Before losing to Wade in the final. Wade and Beaton could meet again in the final this year. Wade in the opposite half of the draw. He faces Van den
42.
Berg later.
$81.
Van der Pas has just done what he's had to do in this match. Nothing spectacular. 3 180 is averaging in the low 80s.
96.
Yeah, so it looks as though Van der Pas will maintain the run this morning of seeds coming through. Stephen Bunting
97.
is the next seed on stage against Chris Quantock.
Yeah, I'll put you on the spot, Rob, as soon as we don't have an expert like Paul Nicholson. Not that I'm diminishing your fantastic darting knowledge, but who the rest of the afternoon, can you pick a non-seed to perhaps?
Well, I'm looking at Quantock actually. Maybe Kist as well. But if you gave me a golden
40.
coin right now, Chris, I'd have to say, I'd have to go for Quantock. I think Cullen will have too much for Rob Cross. I think Cross will give him a good game, but I think Cullen will have too much for him. Kist will cause Smith problems.
96.
Klaassen should have far too much for Magnus Carris. But yeah, Bunting just hasn't really caught the eye
135.
significantly this year so far. May come good this weekend.
Benito van der Pas may well come good this week, and he's looking 20 for tops to move into the last 16 tomorrow and keep alive his hope of winning a first European Tour event. As we said, nothing really spectacular, but Van der Pas with a professional performance and a 6-1 win against Martin Schindler, who had chances at the beginning of the piece. But missed starts at doubles cost him, and Van der Pas took full advantage. He is through to the last 16 and will be back in action tomorrow, and we will be back in action in a few minutes with Stephen Bunting against Chris Quantock after we've heard from Benito.